Not live.
We're not live.
Is it like live strippers? Like whatever they have those things like live nude girls, and you go, well, I would hope they'd be alive.
Yeah.
Given my options.
Given the alternative.
Given the alternative. No. 1 second. Yeah. Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Happy Sunday.
A very happy Sunday to one and all. Second. Okay.
That interesting sound effect is
all the sound effect care of the dogs as per
one
usual.
Of our dogs is
that's how they roll.
Playing with a
bone.
Chew stick bone.
Living his best life.
Okay. That is really annoying. Oh, dear.
When we do our podcast now, obviously we're recording from home for the most part. And it's always really funny because inevitably at least one dog makes it in. And so you're having a conversation with whoever. And, you know, it could be serious, could be anything. And suddenly someone goes, "Hi, dog." We just interviewed, who are we just on with? With Kira Sedgwick. And halfway through she goes, "Hi, dog." Because one of our dogs appeared, as they do.
There's a milestone.
Yes.
The first time since we post on Fridays, our audio podcast.
Our new episodes post on Fridays.
Our guest was also on the cover of the current issue of People magazine.
That's right.
Kira Sedgwick.
Which mommy knew. My mother knew that. She said that. She said, you know, you're getting Kira the same week that she's doing that. And I said, well, you know, we're kind of a big deal. We're not a big deal. But I appreciated that it was even an option that we could say, yes, our guest, the one who is currently on People magazine.
With a big headline proclaiming that she and Kevin Bacon have been married 35 years. Yeah. And that's nothing to sneeze at. So no disrespect intended.
Yeah, but for you guys, you're like 35. Please, we just hit 48. What do you know?
We just had our 48th anniversary on the Ides of March.
Not that we're competitive, mind you.
No,
but
no.
Oh, you think you've been married a long time? 48 years. Hang on. Hello. Have I thought about going purple? So my hair used to be blue into purple into pink. I am so red. I am like a tomato. And if you put anything like that, any like a purple or a pink or anything right by my face or a red, I just look more like a tomato. So I appreciate that very much. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to get it up. Where is it? Is it inside? Oh, it's inside her tent. That's why. It's inside the baby's tent is what the dog is trying to do. Hey, Mabel. Hey, Mabel. Hey, Mabel. Hey, Mabel. You want to do literally anything at all else? If you can't hear, it's our dog trying to get this chew toy and failing, and it's clanking on the ground.
On the hardwood floor.
On the hardwood floor. No, really, Mabel. Thank you. It's always peaceful here in our home. Jerry says, my wife and I have been married 16 years. Can't remember my life before I met my wife. Well, you and Mommy were just talking about the fact that you guys have lived here longer than you lived in New York.
We just come to this startling realization.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because we got married in 1975, and we were there 9 years. But the last year and a half of that period, I was commuting from New York to LA to work for Entertainment Tonight. And finally, Mommy said, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah,
it's no way to live. And I agreed. So we moved here temporarily. I've been saying 37 years ago, 38 years ago. And then I looked at the calendar and I thought, wait, it's 2023.
Yeah.
And we moved at the end of 1983.
It's crazy.
This November, it'll be 40 years that we live in LA. At one time, unthinkable.
Yeah. Well, I told you, I always ask my husband again, because my husband's from the UK. I always say, did you ever imagine you would live outside of the United Kingdom, let alone here in LA? And he's the type who just doesn't think that far ahead. And he went, yeah, I guess. I don't know. But it's, it is wild to me to think of sort of the places that you go. Nick just watched Cinema Finds Their Voice, which is great. So several people are now pointing this out. I have to tell you, and this is just how TCM rolls. They either don't tell us when something's going to air, or they'll tell you like an hour ahead. So the last time something you did,
The Warren Beatty.
the Warren Beatty thing was gonna appear. We found out, I think, 2 hours before it was going to. And this documentary that you're talking about, that my dad did with Serge Bromberg, he narrated the English version. Serge is French, and the original is in French. And we found out that it aired yesterday, April 1st, because a friend sent you an email saying, hey, I really enjoyed that. We went, oh, we didn't know that it aired. So yeah, look forward to watching it. If you didn't see the other one, which I guess is like a year or so ago,
the
Méliès doc,
Méliès mystery.
That's also fantastic.
And there's another one coming.
Yeah.
On the history of color.
More and more and more. My dad doing these voice recordings is pretty wild, because you have Serge in France on a computer screen, my dad in a recording studio here,
and his partner also.
Yeah. And my dad's here in a recording studio in Burbank. I'm pointing towards Burbank, and it's pretty crazy to think that.
Oh, it's just amazing.
You know,
and of course, movies do this all the time.
Yeah.
When they have to do looping, or ADR as they call it.
Yeah.
That the actors may be on location for another movie in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And they have to find a place there where they can record, and what with high frequency,
it's nuts
communication, you can be anywhere.
Yeah. A few folks are asking about. So Steven's saying, "What's the name of the upcoming one on the history of color film?"
I don't know.
There you go.
They hadn't given it a name yet.
Yeah. And Jerry's saying that Oscar Wars is amazing. I wouldn't have known about it were it not for you. I'm so glad you're enjoying the book.
I finished it last week.
Show off.
And no, it's a really.
No, I know.
It's a really good book. A really good book.
My mom and I are severely dyslexic, and so it takes me. I say it, and this is actually true. I'm still in the middle of the third Harry Potter book that I started in like 8th grade. It just takes me forever to read. It just is how that is. Whereas my dad just swallows books whole like it's nothing, and it is hilarious.
But that's it's a thick book.
It's a thick book. Well, I just always think about when we did the New Zealand, Australia cruise, and you brought 3 with you, and you had the Harvey Girls, you had that one, which was like this, and then 2 other books. And it was like, must be nice, man. You just read through. Oh yeah. Anyway, we live vicariously through my dad and his ability to read.
I love to read.
Is there a large film preservation community in California? Yeah. We're very lucky.
Larger than the one in
anywhere,
Nevada,
anywhere else.
Or Rhode Island. Yes, and you can find them at gatherings like screenings at the Hammer Museum, where the UCLA Film Archive shows off what it's just restored and has traveling shows coming through.
Yeah.
Or at the American Cinematheque, at the Aero Theater, or Los Feliz.
There's a lot of,
and certainly at the TCM upcoming. TCM
Festival. That's like Mecca. No, it's really interesting, because we have, again, some people, they visit LA, they don't like it. Some people move to LA, they don't like it. But I feel very strongly that if you are someone who loves film, I just don't know where it's better than this. Not saying that New York, of course, has Film Forum and lots of incredible stuff, but just in terms of having access. So whether it's the UCLA Film and Television Archive or any Warner Archive, any of these kinds of things, to have everything so readily available, and to have screenings on a very regular basis. They're showing these kinds of movies year round. It's not like it's just a festival. And then, yes, we have lots of festivals that do come through. And I always feel that I understand we all have different opinions about different places, but I really do believe that if you're a film nut, this is home. It just is. I will also say, because we were there a few weeks ago, again, if you do come to visit LA, please make sure that you go to the Hollywood Museum. that lives very happily smack in the middle of Hollywood, diagonal from Hollywood and Highland. It's
Steps away from Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah,
in the historic Max Factor building.
it's wonderful. It's really wonderful, and just such a neat place to visit. And yeah, I know people are saying they'd love to live in LA, but the rent is super expensive. See, I guess to me, because other places are so expensive, like my friends who live in New York, it's so obscenely expensive that to me here it's not as bad. And I say that because we're so used to driving in LA. There are a lot of places you can live that are just a little bit further out and rent is normal. And then you just drive into all the fun stuff. But I understand.
That's nice. Reaction to my introduction to the Court Jester.
Oh, awesome.
On the Paramount Home Entertainment Blu-ray. A pleasure to do, because I like that film so much.
Who doesn't? It's such a brilliant movie.
It's just a wonderful movie.
Danny K, have you been to Ireland? Yes.
Yes.
I actually lived in Northern Ireland for a little while because one of my very best friends is from there. And we've been all over Ireland. It's an amazing place. Someone just asked about film noir, if you had a favorite one set in LA and a favorite one set in New York.
Well, DOA is a really good film noir that makes great use of LA and San Francisco locations, both cities. And it's been remade, but not well. See the original, 1949, I think.
Steven says, don't shoot me as I still haven't seen The Court Jester. That's okay, but I recommend it to you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Danny Kaye is just so special. And he has something about him that is just, I don't know. I don't know many others who have that way.
There's a great story that was told by his wife. His wife, Sylvia Fine, wrote special material for him for decades.
Mm-hmm.
After he was discovered on Broadway and signed to a movie contract by Sam Goldwyn, and Goldwyn brought him out here and devised or concocted a vehicle for him called Up in Arms. And she devised this opening set piece. It's not really connected to the plot in any way. It's set in a movie theater lobby, which was done in a very impressionistic way. And it's full of patter, the kind of rapid fire patter he was known for. And Goldwyn loved it. And it was a big success. And every time they auditioned a number for him in the years to follow, and that was many times, Mr. Goldwyn would sigh and say, well, they can't all be the lobby number. And that's become a mantra now for your mother and I.
Can't all be the lobby number.
Yeah.
I was saying I look better with makeup. I look so much better with makeup on. It's not even funny. But unfortunately,
it's not even funny.
It's not. Unfortunately, with my kiddo, I don't always have time to put makeup on. It's really nice when I get to. And even when my hair is a complete mess, it's nice to pretend to be a person for a little bit. Did you like Merry Melodies? Of course. Merry Melodies are the best. Merry Melodies are wonderful. It's
and thanks to my enterprising daughter who roams the internet on my behalf, I have a brand new Looney Tunes jacket.
Yes.
Denim jacket.
Yes. Members only did a line with Looney Tunes, and I will tell you they're pretty great, and they're all on sale. So they're having a big sale to get rid of them. So if you go to the members only website, you'll find a heap of cool Looney Tunes stuff for men and for women. Colin says, I've been to the TCM Film Festival several times, keep meaning to visit the Hollywood Museum and never get around to it. Maybe this year. Honestly, I really recommend it. Plus it's literally right there. It's and it's not so huge that you can't do it.
You ought to allow some time.
Oh yeah. But I just mean in the sense, like, even if you only have a little, like you just give yourself a small window to do it, you can go through quickly and then come back because there's so much cool stuff. Hello from Spain. Hola. I recently read of Mice and Magic and I love your book, Leonard. That's
Well,
amazing.
thank you. That means a lot to me. That touches my heart because that book is my baby.
Yeah.
One of my
Yeah.
many babies.
Yeah. I like to say I have a lot of siblings. They're all books, but I have a lot of siblings. What is your favorite Otto Preminger film?
Oh, I like a lot of his films. When I was a kid, I was very impressed with Advise and Consent. Oh, I know what it is. Anatomy of a Murder with Jimmy Stewart and a great, great cast. Lee Remick, Eve Arden, Ben Gazzara, Arthur O'Connell, and Duke Ellington, who not only composed the score for the film, but appears in it, which is really cool.
There you go. Have you ever seen the movie Marjorie Morningstar?
I cannot tell a lie. I've not. I know what it is. It's based on the novel by Herman Wouk, and it has Gene Kelly in a straight. He sings actually in it, but it's a straight dramatic part. Natalie Wood plays Marjorie Morningstar, but I've never seen it.
Does it exist?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It wouldn't be hard to see. I just never
Then
got around to it.
Apparently, you have a new assignment.
Yes, I do.
Ryan's saying, speaking of Looney Tunes, have you heard that a new Blu-ray is coming out from Warner Archive? Your friend Jerry Beck discussed it earlier this week.
And that's how I know it's coming out.
Yeah.
Because Jerry told me.
That's so funny. I swear it's like an underground railroad of information. All of you guys, it's hilarious. As I say, something that I really appreciate is, for the most part, all of the archivist friends that we have, all the people that do this kind of work, they're so excited to share. And that is, I love that you guys love my dad's memorabilia. And it's really fun for him to get to share it because, the whole point of it is that it's meant to be seen.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be locked away somewhere. That's no fun at all. It's meant to be seen here and loved and enjoyed. And so a lot of our friends, that's the thing that makes them happiest, is getting to do that. Have you ever been to David Wilson's Museum of Jurassic Technology? I have not. Have you?
No, I have not.
No, I have not been there. Let's see.
And we just heard about a hiring at the upcoming, yet to open George Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts, which is going to be right near USC, downtown.
It makes sense that it would be. Yeah. I can't even imagine. Gilbert Gottfried said over the 8 years of his podcast, he virtually never heard a nice word about Danny Kaye. I think it's I've only ever heard negative things about his wife.
No, well, Danny Kaye was not well loved.
Yeah.
By the people who worked for him.
Yeah.
On his especially on his TV variety show.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But he's one of those people that you have to just separate.
Yeah.
If you're going to enjoy his work,
you
have to just put that out of your mind.
Now let me ask you, because I do always think it's interesting. Are there people that you learned about in real life and can no longer watch? Now, there's the obvious ones. Obviously, Kevin Spacey comes up and all of that sort of stuff. But is there anybody that you found out more about, and now you can't watch because it's just too hard? I find that I started saying to my parents at certain points, I was like, just don't tell me, because I just don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss, and I am very okay with that. As long as you didn't murder somebody, it's like, because I feel like none of us are there, the pressures of fame, the pressures of everything. It's a lot.
Our late friend, Bob Shearer, was the primary director on the Danny Kaye show when it was on CBS in the early 60s.
Yeah.
And Bob didn't carry a grudge.
No.
About Danny.
No.
So
no, I'd say that's the thing. It's sort of like, all right, I can tell you something from our personal experience that I found that I was interested in hearing other people talk about it because we were seeing it firsthand. Mary Hart, who my dad was on television with for a very long time, at one point Some people said, well, she had some diva behavior. Now, the reality of that was that Mary was getting older. And Mary was the star of that. She was the star of E.T. And as they would bring in younger women to be, correspondents, whatever the hell, Mary had to make sure that she had a certain pick of dresses. So when they'd have events, she looked a certain way. She basically just had to put her foot down and take care of herself. Now,
she stood up for herself.
Yeah.
She was never
a diva, ever. You can ask
Not
anyone
even
who
close.
worked with her for 30 years. You can ask
Not even close.
anybody who worked with her for all those years.
Yeah.
Never a diva, never rude to crew, ever. But she had to be firm. And firmness can sometimes be seen as a diva attitude.
Yeah, that's something that women experience.
Yeah, of course.
That men generally don't.
But we know people who are terrible. Like I know there are people out there who are awful and have the worst reputations, and I've dealt with them, and they are truly terrible. And then there are a lot of people that aren't, and it's just them having to say, no, this is what I need, and this is what I got to get. So
in the news this week,
yes,
which we rarely have, I once said to my daughter when she was very young that I generally don't deal with breaking news. And she said, this is like at age 9, she said, no, Daddy, you deal with broken news.
Apparently, I'm a genius.
It was a great comeback.
Thank you.
But in news this week, A.O. Scott,
yes,
familiarly known to friends and colleagues as Tony, who has been the New York Times senior film critic in partnership with Manohla Dargis for 22 years, has exited that post voluntarily to go to work for the New York Times book review. And that's what he was doing when he got the gig as their film critic. He had been a book reviewer. And he posted a wonderful column, a sort of a farewell column, where he interviewed himself and asked himself questions that he gets asked all the time. And I just want to read 1 or 2 lines from this. He figures that he reviewed almost 3,000 movies, which is okay.
How many do you think you've reviewed?
We'll get there.
Thank you.
Are there reviews you wish you could take back? That's the question. And he writes, at least 2,290 of them could have been better.
Ha!
Longer, shorter, funnier, kinder. His reviews, that is. A big part of any critic's job is to be wrong, to make an early call that is subject to correction by time, taste, and public whim. But it's also the critic's duty to give an honest account of what they think in the moment. For that reason, I hesitate to second guess myself. I can't really take any of it back. The damage is done. My errors of fact are all there on the record, with corrections appended for everyone to see. Lapses in taste or judgment are better corrected by other people. And then he goes on to talk about some specifics. But there are times I should have been kinder to Wonder Boys and Erin Brockovich early on, for sure, and occasions when my enthusiasm got the better of me. Match Point, Warhorse. But I'd rather dodge the question and savor my occasional vindication. And he names a couple of films that time proved he was on the right track.
Well, it is. Folks often ask you if you've changed your mind on movies. That question comes up a lot. And it is interesting, of course. There's sometimes, you return to a film that you loved and haven't seen in a long time, and it's not as good as it was.
Yeah.
There are times you return to something
or
that
it doesn't seem as good as it was.
Yeah. There are times when you return to something that you didn't like and you appreciate it more now.
Yep.
It's just reality, isn't it? And when you saw something, how you felt when you saw it, where were you when you saw it? Because critics, like anyone else, are human beings. And I know, right? And so sometimes you might have an experience where you don't like a film or you do like it, whatever it is.
Right.
And that can shift. And time, of course. How does something age? Does it age well? See, how many movies do you think you've reviewed? Reviewed? That's good English.
Well, the last edition of the movie guide had 16,000 reviews.
Yeah.
And I figured I wrote about half. We added 300 movies
Yeah.
every year for like 25 years.
Yeah.
And I figured I wrote about half of those reviews.
Yeah.
So 150 times 20.
Don't ask me math.
A
lot.
You get the idea. A lot of movies.
A lot of movies. It is strange to think, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
How many there have been. Roger Ebert said he got more negative feedback from his 3-star review of Godfather 2 than any other review. Absolutely. Mike says, I bet Leonard wished he had changed his review of Gremlins after what they did to him in Gremlins 2.
Nope.
Well, that's a perfect example, isn't it? Sometimes something just doesn't work for you. You really want it to. And it's just not. And it's particularly difficult if you really appreciate a director, or you really want to like it. I will tell you so we are friends with Alexander Payne. Wonderful director, really lovely man. He did something that I don't think anyone else has ever done. Tell them.
We were at the Telluride Film Festival together, and he said to Alice, right?
Yeah.
He said to my wife, if you don't like my new movie, don't stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Don't try to dodge, or
Yeah.
duck. He was being a grown-up about it.
He was being kind.
Yeah.
We did like the movie, but it was one of those moments where it was just such a thoughtful thing to do and say. Now, again, thankfully, you like pretty much everything Alexander makes,
including that film,
Downsizing. But it is interesting, and him saying that meant so much, because it was
the other philosopher.
The
only other philosopher I met in this arena is Guillermo Del Toro.
Yeah.
Who, when he came to my class for the first time, he's been there 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Over these years.
When he brought the weapons. I'll tell you that in a second.
I walked him to his car at the end of the evening, and I think that was for the Devil's Backbone.
Devil's Backbone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm so glad I liked the film.
Yeah.
Tonight, because it can be awkward otherwise. He said, a movie's like a blind date. Sometimes you wind up in bed. Sometimes it's just a cup of coffee. So that was his way of summing it up.
He's so good. God, I love that man.
Yeah.
So Guillermo brought Hellboy, and when he did, he brought a bunch of stuff to show the kids.
Props.
Bunch of props, but also his book, with all of his drawings in it.
His notebook.
I mean,
wow.
He brought everything with him, and Guillermo is incredibly generous. He's incredibly kind and incredibly generous, and he's incredibly generous with his time. He'll
take time out to talk to fans.
He really cares. I think I've said this before, but he told us how he told his daughters that when someone comes up and wants to talk to him, they have to be patient because these people deserve his time. They're fans, and he wants to make sure that each one feels like they've had a moment with him, which is so, again, thoughtful. But so he brings this bag of weapons from the movie, from Hellboy, and security is like, is that a bag full of weapons? We're like, no, it's for a movie. They're props. They're not real. We had to hide them. It was a whole thing. And you're sort of going, I didn't think I'd ever have to do this, but yeah, he didn't even think he's coming onto a college campus with a bag full of weapons, even though the weapons are not real. Many of them are very exaggerated. It didn't matter. Security was not thrilled, which I thought was hilarious at the time. Are the online rumors true that Leonard Maltin was offered a cameo in RoboCop? I don't think so.
Nope.
I know
and that was produced by a friend of mine, John Davison.
Yeah.
So I would remember.
Maybe in the next RoboCop, it's your moment. I feel like I didn't give Hellboy a good chance. I was only a teen and only just watched it for the scene of the character watching UPA cartoons. Solid. I really like Hellboy. It's one of my favorites. And I actually like the second one, too.
I like Hellboy, too.
I like Hellboy, too, a lot. It's another one where I would say, if you have a minute, watch it again, because I think you'll like it. And if you don't, that's okay too. After the way they skewered him for Laser Blast, the Mystery Science Theater, did Leonard regret giving Laser Blast 2.5 stars? He regrets nothing.
No. I sleep well.
You do. You do sleep well. No, that's not the kind of thing. I mean, again, what you do for a living is give people your opinion.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's
Take it or leave it.
It's
If
not.
you want to leave it, that's fine.
But that's the thing. It's not fact. That's not how that works. It's not fact. There are things that are factual.
Yeah.
You can say something is this, something is that, but movie, it's your opinion. It's how you feel about it.
So funny. 3 years ago, I found myself on stage at the Egyptian Theater interviewing Martin Scorsese.
That was a fun email.
And Robert De Niro.
Leonard, do you want to interview Scorsese and De Niro at the American Cinematheque? Nah, why would I want that?
This was tied into the release of The Irishman.
Yeah.
And they made 9 movies together, and I wanted to cover all 9. I had 45 minutes, not 46, not 44, 45 minutes. And I didn't want to use notes. I hate using notes.
Yeah.
So
I love him.
One by one, went through the movies. And as I got up to New York, Scorsese turned to the audience and in a stage whisper said, he doesn't like it. I mean, I'm flattered that he knew.
That's so funny.
My opinion
That's
of that
so
movie.
funny. That's so funny. No, I mean, again, some things are going to work for you and some things are not. I think that's a lot of times people just need permission to not like something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and again, this is always going to be the issue. Hi, Logan.
Hi, Logan.
It's always going to be the issue with films that are considered classic. Come here. Or films that are considered classics. If you watch Citizen Kane and it's on your TV at home and you don't necessarily have all the context, whatever it is, you may think it's good, but it may not have the same effect. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It sometimes just things need context or an audience. And other times they just may not work for you. And that's all right too.
Someone is asking about Turn Every Page. What a wonderful film, wonderful documentary about the two Roberts, Robert Caro,
Thank you.
who has spent much of his life
Thank you.
writing a multi-volume biography of Lyndon Johnson, and his editor,
Come on, people.
Bob Gottlieb, Robert Gottlieb. They're both 90-ish, and they're still working on what will probably be the final book in
crazy.
In that series. And they're to me, these are superheroes to me.
Yeah.
They are superheroes, and it's a lovely, charming, and interesting film.
Yeah. You and Mommy both went nuts for it. You loved that. Hey. I've got 2 dogs. I've got Mabel here who also would like attention. Hi, everybody. As I say, it's a madhouse, our house. I'm trying to think of what else. There's something that we watched recently. That you reacted to. Well, so just in your class, you had Air, which is which
opens
Ben
on
Affleck.
Friday. Opens in theaters on Friday.
Yeah.
And I recommend.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, but I'm not giving anything away by saying it's not a film about Michael Jordan particularly. It's about the people surrounding him.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And Matt Damon is terrific, and Viola Davis. I said to the screenwriter and one of the producers, Jason Berman, should we just have Congress pass some sort of a bill making her a national treasure officially?
Yeah.
I mean, she's so good.
Yeah.
Every time she appears on screen, it matters.
Yeah.
And your heart goes out to whatever character she's playing.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. There are some people, there's that isn't it?
Yeah.
There's that something that some people just have.
Now, the week before, I screened John Wick 4,
Yeah.
and we had the director Chad Stahelek, who directed all the previous John Wick movies as well. And he turned out to be a wonderful.
Hang on one second. Hi, Mom. So we're doing our live, and someone here has just said, "Will Alice Maltin ever return to the stream? I hope she knows she's missed."
Oh, that's great.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Will you ever rejoin us?
Do you want me to ever rejoin?
Do we want you to ever rejoin?
Sure.
Sure.
Well, I don't like to bother anybody.
Oh, she doesn't like to bother anybody. Well, that's a lie, isn't it? That's a bold-faced lie, Alice Maltin. Yes, I just want you to know, yes, I've told her this before, but I'm happy to read what you've written and tell her again. Okay, Mother?
All right, my darling.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
Okay, you want me to come down? Is that what you're asking?
If you'd like to come down, you are always welcome to come down.
Looking the way I look? Okay.
I'm in my pajamas.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, my
Fine. Well, there you go. You're going to get Alice. Continue.
Anyway, so my class of 300, mostly 20-somethings, really, really liked John Wick 4 a lot. I liked it too, to a degree, to an extent. I thought it was unconscionably long, 2 hours and 49 minutes. There's really no reason it had to be that long. And I got bored at a certain point. But the action set pieces toward the end of the movie, they're clustered fairly close together, are among the most brilliant pieces of action movie making I've ever witnessed. They're so great, so dazzling that it tips the scales and says, well, I didn't love the movie, but I love what
it did.
Chad Stahelek pulled off here with his team. He is a really interesting guy. He's sort of backed into the movie business, you might say, by chance. He's a 6-foot, good-looking fellow, and somebody said, "Want to make some money?" He's a stand-in double, and he became a stunt double, and then started doing stunts, and then became a stunt man for real, and then a stunt coordinator, and then a second unit director, and fight choreographer, and then finally a director. But he has a broad background. His mother took him to museums. He knows all about art. He knows all about composition and lighting. He knows movies. He loves musicals. He loves Buster Keaton. There are little homages throughout the film to Buster, to Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, the list of reference points is rather long and varied. He's a very impressive fellow.
And again, and it's great for the kids. It's always great for the kids to see passionate directors, but also knowledgeable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old you are, you can learn.
Yeah.
And if you are someone who's directing, then the most important thing you can do is watch as many movies as you can get your hands on. That's the best thing you can do. Learn and watch everything, It's incredible. 1 second. I'm just going to go back up. So Kyle says that John Wick 4 is my favorite movie of the year so far. The stunts and set pieces are all showstoppers. Yeah. In the last one, in 3, when he goes through it must be 100 glass windows, there came a point where I went, is this just supposed to be funny? Like, is someone just doing this now and laughing really hard? Because I couldn't get over, he's like another, he's going through another glass window. Okay. Shannon says the Maltins seem like the kindest and most supportive parents. They're the worst. They are just the worst. It's miserable.
Mea culpa.
I'll tell you. No, we're very, I'm very lucky. My parents are wonderful. We have put a lot of time and effort into our relationship, the 3 of us. And I think that we appreciate each other, and we are very good about saying thank you and giving each other compliments. I think that's honestly the most important thing you can do is let the people around you know you appreciate them. So, whether it's something like my mom looks nice, we'd say you look pretty, or, that was funny or clever or good job, whatever it is never a bad time to say what you're thinking in your head in that sense. I always do that with friends where I'll say, if I'm thinking about somebody, I send a text immediately and I say, hey, I'm thinking about you, because people appreciate that. So there's just, never a bad time to sort of put that out there. Leonard, please tell us about your relationship with Joe Dante.
Joe and I met when we were teenagers, and he was then contributing capsule reviews of movies to Castle of Frankenstein magazine, edited and published by a wonderful character named Calvin T. Beck. Too much to say about Calvin, but so we've known each other these many years, and we never became close friends, but we've always been aware of each other.
I'd say you're close friends. I mean,
and admire each other.
You speak a lot.
Yeah.
You're pals. You love the same things.
Yeah.
Joe's great. Joe is a lot of fun and
incredibly knowledgeable.
Incredibly knowledgeable. All right. I'm pulling it back so you can see we have been joined by the one and only.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hang on.
Who are we talking about, sweetie?
Joe Dante.
Joe Dante.
Oh, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Joe.
Alice has known Joe Dante forever as well.
Yeah, I have. Indeed. Yeah.
Let's see. I met Alice and Leonard at a film festival, and they were incredibly friendly and gracious. Well, that's not true, is it? They're just the worst. I'm telling you.
No.
They're just the worst. No, I think that people enjoy that we operate as a family.
Yeah. Like it or not.
People like that. So Alice does live here. She does. She's upstairs. She hides upstairs. Ryan
Sometimes I take care of the baby.
Sometimes, yes. My husband is home, which is rare. So he has the baby right now. So my mom can come down. You're getting lots of hellos here, Mama.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Ryan says, Mrs. Maltin, so great getting to see you for the first time in a while. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Thank
much
you.
of the time she does. She takes care of Daisy.
Yeah, take care of Daisy. And also, I don't want to interfere with you guys. I mean,
very interfering.
It's a small couch.
Very interfering here. Yes. What I like is, I don't know how my tiny Christmas tree ended up in here, but I'm pleased. I collect rainbow Christmas trees. So that one's made it in. Let me grab, my phone is here. Let me go through some questions. Mama, have you watched anything interesting lately?
I'm trying to think. I have to think.
She's always watching her
We
British
watched The Lost
mysteries.
King together.
Yeah, we watched. That was really good. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I know it got mixed reviews, but I thought it was really interesting. And I love it. I love British history. I love American history. And I was not aware of that. Which apparently is true.
Yeah.
I mean, that they did find.
Yes, based on real people and the
grave site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Jerry's saying, Alice, do you watch The Crown? Of course she does.
I have to tell you, I really haven't, because I don't care for the people they've chosen.
No, we watched everything up to the newest season.
Yeah, the newest season, I really haven't. I just don't. I don't see the people they've chosen to play.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But
It's
that's
good actors.
me. What do
but
I know?
I
They're
don't
all good
think they make
actors, but
sense.
no. I mean, and I like. By the way, King Charles III. I think that he will be a very interesting king.
He'll make a great queen.
I know nothing about him, but because he really did care about the environment years ago.
Yeah.
And he just took he just took everything. Everybody, the whole thing with Diana.
It's a
people
lot.
do not accept that she was a troubled woman, and made his life difficult. Not that he didn't make her life difficult too, but
It's tough when your husband is in love with another woman.
Well, but yeah,
happens to the best of us.
I had the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the same thing. I overlooked the fact that you know,
You're generous, honey. Generous
you
of
love
spirit.
people who
Generous.
you love, because
Uh,
I like that. Very good.
Mama, Arthur is asking you what your favorite Warner Brothers movie is.
That's really interesting, because I never thought about studios. Leonard and I watched The Jazz Singer last night, which I don't know. I mean, I just thought it was it was quite dated in its production, and I mean, I grew up loving Al Jolson, not knowing that he was not the, nature's
Noble.
nobleman. I have to think about which one is, because, as again I said, I never thought about
The
studios.
We heard many years ago a radio director of long experience told this story that he was in the control booth and behind a plate glass, and he offered. They're doing a rehearsal for a broadcast, and Jolson said something or other, and he said, "Al, would you hit that word a little harder because it'll help sell the idea?" And Jolson went into a furious tirade. You giving me advice? You giving me direction? I have $10 million in the bank. I have $10 million in the bank. What do you have? That director said, "Friends, Al."
Friends. I will say, I think Casablanca, going back to that question, simply because I have watched it, and
It never gets
because
old.
I know so much about the history of it and about the various featured character actors in it.
Mm.
It is very special. Also, I guess all of us now, my friend Cass Warner, who is the granddaughter of Harry Warner, this whole 100th anniversary, I think, is very exciting, actually. And you guys have done a classic tour of the actual lot. And it's one of the few lots that really has not been bastardized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have not shared that yet
Who?
about doing the hosting. No, because I think it's real now.
I think, check please. Yeah.
I think it's real now.
I think it is too.
Yeah,
Maybe April. Yeah, this is April.
It's April.
Yeah, yeah.
More on that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, just tell them.
two recent releases from Keno Lorber home video. One is a film I haven't seen since I was a kid, If I Had a Million. It's an episodic film with an unbeatable cast, including Gary Cooper, George Raft, Charles Lawton, Charlie Ruggles, W.C. Fields, and many, many, many others, and directed by a raft of great directors, including Ernst Lubitsch. And then this is the film that I chose to screen last year when TCM gave me the Robert Osborne Award, Counselor at Law, starring the great John Barrymore, and the first significant film directed by William Wyler from the stage play by Elmer Rice. I just love this movie, and I love Barrymore in it. And now you can have it at home.
Now you too
You too, yeah.
can have this in your home. So the question that I asked today is, what are some of everyone's favorite hidden gem movies? So we have a bit of that in here. Maria says, "Hi, Mr. Maltin and Jesse." Hi. Thank you for these wonderful Sunday chats. One of my favorite movies that may not be as well known is Dear Heart from 1967 with Glenn Ford and Geraldine Page.
Mm-hmm.
Her performance is heartbreakingly beautiful and reminds me of Ernest Borgnine's performance in Marty. They're two of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, you have good taste.
Yes, you both agree?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, so 1 second. I just asked if there's something that you had seen. Lynn, what did you write? Lynn, Alice, have you watched Stonehouse about the member of parliament that faked his own death?
Oh yeah, I watched that series. That was with Matthew McFadden. Yeah,
We love Matthew McFadden.
we love him.
We
Yeah, I thought that
love
was
Matthew
I thought
McFadden.
it was so real. I mean, it's the kind of story that you could not write because somebody would say, "Oh, come on,
This
couldn't
could
have
never
happened."
happen, but it
But
did.
it did, and very interesting. Yeah, I thought it was very well done. Yeah.
Ken Bass says, I tear up and get all emotional anytime watching the original Star Wars movie when Luke is going into the trenches on the Death Star for the final time and Obi-Wan's voice comes over and tells him to use the Force. It's the music from John Williams at that point, Obi-Wan's theme, that chokes me up. Do you have any emotional music moments in certain movies that get you every time? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the score from Cider House Rules remains
God,
one of the
yes.
most beautiful things that's ever occurred in life.
Rachel Portman, right?
Yep. It's beautiful. And I can just hear it and it makes me emotional because it's just, it's
and
gorgeous.
I love Tobey Maguire in that.
It's a really good movie.
That was when he was, I think, young and innocent.
Yeah, right. It's a beautiful movie in general, The Cider House Rules. And it doesn't really get brought up much. But
No.
I think it's excellent. And
Yeah.
your girlfriend, Charlize Theron, gives a great performance.
And Michael Caine,
yeah,
who just turned 90, by the way.
Yes, it's incredible. I'd say that's one of them. But yeah, I mean, music is so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I can't separate the music from the
Yeah.
the scenes.
Love is a Many Splendid Thing.
Yeah.
Every time you hear that, it comes over the
I
hill.
walked into the room the other day, and the two of you were watching Mr. Roberts,
Yeah.
which always makes me cry
Yeah.
toward the end of the film. And it wasn't a music cue; it was just knowing,
Yeah.
knowing what was about to happen in the film.
David says the soundtrack to Magnolia is beautiful. Second, I'm just gonna go up a little bit there. Sorry, the John Barry score for Out of Africa.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful
is
too.
wonderful. Someone over on Twitter was just saying the Field of Dreams score,
Mm-hmm.
and those moments are really fantastic. Let's see. Hidden Gems, two excellent film noirs, Quicksand 1950 and The Well 1950. Excellent. We love Chariots of Fire. Yep.
Yeah.
E.T. Well, that's the thing. John Williams, when you try to explain to people how much of your life he has impacted, it's
Effective.
When
did Johnny become John, by the way?
Who knows? Probably when they felt like he had to be more fancy. Chris says, where do you recommend starting for someone who has never seen many serials? Ken responded to him and said, Flash Gordon or Captain Marvel. I agree completely. Those are two, I think, easy.
Yes.
It's hard not to like them. So I think it's a good thing to try,
And Flash Gordon was a very elaborate serial first time. They called it the first $1 million serial, but they lied. Apparently, it cost much less, but it was for its
any
time
serial ever
very
cost
elaborate.
$1 million?
And no,
I think so.
If you have to. If you're going to be stopped in your tracks by a rocket ship that looks like a toothpaste tube expelling, a little exhaust fume behind it, then you don't even bother to watch.
Yeah.
You have to take it on its own terms.
Yeah.
And it was the first real science fiction, maybe not first science fiction film, but pioneering science fiction for its day, taken from the comic strip by Alex Raymond.
Yeah.
Ming the Merciless used to scare me.
We love
when
Ming
I was
the
a kid.
Merciless.
Ming the Merciless. Oh no.
Jim says, hey, my hidden gem movie is The Good Humor Man, starring Jack Carson. Just wondering who you'd nominate for a Mount Rushmore of movie film composers. For me, it's Max Steiner, Bernard Herrmann, Alfred Newman, and John Williams.
That's pretty good.
Well,
it's a solid Mount Rushmore.
That pretty well says it.
Gonna have to make
Solid
more room
Mount
on the
Rushmore.
mountain.
Oh, good. So Quentin said, thank you for recommending The Lost King last week. My wife and I saw it and we really enjoyed it. I'm so glad.
That's nice to hear.
It's great when people, they read it, they go and they enjoy it. I mean, that's kind of, that's
really
winning.
what you guys are here
that's
for.
Film critic winning. The score for Call Me By Your Name is beautiful. Yes. Wonder Boys. Several people have mentioned Wonder Boys.
Didn't anybody like Love Is a Many Splendid Thing?
I'm sure they did, Mama.
William Holden coming up over the hill.
Hidden movie gems: Spencer's Mountain, Henry Fonda, Maureen O'Hara, James MacArthur, and Seven Little Foys.
Bob
that's Hope. Especially for James Cagney's cameo and dance sequence.
Well, that sequence of Bob Hope and Jimmy Cagney dancing on the tables is just pure joy.
Lynn is saying Justin Hurwitz is a fantastic composer. Yeah, he's really come into his own and he does a beautiful job. Several people are saying that Rocky is one that always makes them cry.
I
Yeah.
can see
Certain
that.
scenes
Yeah.
of
I can see
Rocky
that.
have that effect on them. Nick says, mine is the Fleischer's second and last animated feature film, Mr. Bug Goes to Town.
Mhm.
I wish they did more. Heck, I wish they didn't close, period. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting with certain things that you grow up with. As soon as you see even the style, like, so when I see a Fleischer cartoon, I'm immediately happy.
Yeah.
Before it does anything, because you just know it's theirs, that they have a look.
Yep.
And, you know, yeah, it's very much connected to the things that make me happy. So I get that. It's Chippendale's 80th birthday today. What's your
Happy
favorite short of theirs? And do you have any related
birthday
stories? What stories do you have with Chippendale?
None.
Yeah.
I'm very
Except
proud
that-
that I know the difference between Chip
Yes.
and
Yes,
Dale.
Yes.
I was long past childhood when I learned how to tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me.
Did Alice Maltin work as a script supervisor in the 70s and early 80s? I read this online.
No, I did not.
No.
I did not.
Where do people
I
find
love
I don't know
these
where they
things?
find it.
I
I
don't know.
did produce with Leonard some of the interstitials that he did, or when he
The
did
half
was the-
hour.
the half hour.
That was the
Documentary.
90s
Republic,
already, though.
The
Yeah.
making of the Quiet Man.
Quiet Man.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah.
of Santa Iwo Jima.
Republic films. Yeah.
The making of
The other things.
I was the producer, and
High Noon.
and
Yeah.
one of the guys actually said to me, "You know, you're just like a producer." Because I said something about, "Do you want to do that just to see if you, just like a producer?" And I also supplied the pizza. The thing
Most
about a crew is
importantly,
keep them
fed,
fed,
and they'll do anything.
and they'll
you
do
want.
anything, and they were wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No, I did not forget Jerome Moroz. That's why I said you're going to have to have a bigger mountain.
Yeah.
I love Jerome Moroz, most particularly for The Big Country.
You love that.
One
So
of
you've
my
talked about that.
favorite
You wrote
scores.
about that.
Yeah.
Was it that was the movie re-released? What was it?
No,
You just wrote that it was one of your favorite scores?
I think it was reissued on.
Well, that's what I'm
on
saying
disc or
then.
something.
Yeah.
And if you listen to his other work, his other scores, like the Huckleberry Finn score that he did for Sam Goldwyn Jr., there's always, you can hear recognizable themes.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I forget what film composer was most recently in my class, who said, basically, we write the same song over and over and over again. It's just variations on a theme. Before we run completely out of time.
Let me just, Ryan says, did you ever get to meet Audrey Hepburn? I recently got a Blu-ray collection of her films, and a few days ago I watched Roman Holiday. And I was thrilled that it included a really fascinating filmmaker focus from you as a bonus feature.
Well, thank you for saying that. And that was a fun film to talk about.
Mhm.
I only recently learned, I should have known this before, that Preston Sturges did a final script polish
Hmm.
on that film
Really? I didn't know
without
that.
credit.
I love that
20
film.
years earlier, Sturges wrote the screenplay for The Good Fairy, which William Wyler directed. And that's the connection. So they had known each other all that time.
I met Sean Ferrer. Handsome.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, show off your toys.
Okay. Small things. I'm looking now at a house that is jam-packed. So I need to find small things. I'm going to keep collecting. So at one point, pocket mirrors were, pocket mirrors were
Yeah.
popular.
Betty Grable says, I love my Motorola radio. So here she is on this side.
Wow,
Looking
that's terrific. I
Beautiful
like
as
that
ever.
one.
And then the back is a mirror.
Is that old or new?
Old.
He sneaks in these things, by the way. I mean, he does. He doesn't tell me
This
what
is a
comes
compact.
Oh, that's nice. So the back says, Wildwood face powder at all first-class drugstores made in the laboratories of the Alexander Drug Co., Oklahoma City.
in. There you go. First class drugstores.
And that's
there's this side.
Mabel Normand, the pioneering screen comedian.
And then
who-
the back has
and-
the
and-
ad.
and lifelong hot flame of a producer, Max Sennett.
Is it open? Oh, it does. It's empty now, but it does open. Okay.
This is the top of a jar of some
Getting
product.
desperate, aren't we?
Some product from Kraft Corporation. What would come in a jar of Velveeta?
On the air for Kraft Thursday nights, Bing Crosby and guest stars.
Could be jelly jars.
Small, petite.
Small. I like that it still has the price on the back. $12.
And finally, a belt buckle for a boy's belt, bearing the emblem, or brand, I guess would be the word, for Tom Mix.
It says Tom Mix Ralston Shooter. Ralston Straight Shooter. There you
Ralston Straight Shooter. This was a tie-in with the Tom Mix radio show, which outlived Tom Mix.
That's beautiful, honey. I
Yeah.
like that.
go. The amount of stuff in this house that we've never seen.
Every
is
time I go into
significant.
Leonard's office, I just look.
Yeah,
I look at everything
That's-
and I go,
that's
I don't
fun."
remember that. I don't remember that.
Why do you hide all of your toys?
Yes, why do
from
you do
us?
that, Leonard?
Why are you hiding
Why?
your toys?
Hiding toys now more than ever.
Oh,
Well,
well, because
yeah.
of the baby.
Yeah, that's
We need to raise the ceilings because we're not
Need
going to
to
be
go
able to put it
higher.
up high enough.
she's
Yeah.
tall and she can reach things now. It's
She
She
wants
can
everything.
and does.
yeah.
She's just fascinated by everything.
It has been interesting to see what she's thrown that hasn't broken.
Yeah, we're very proud of that.
How well it's gone on. It's yeah, kind of blows my mind. Leonard Maltin show and tell is my favorite part of Sunday.
Oh, well,
Well, thanks.
thank you. I kind of like it
He
myself.
has so many. As I look
Yeah,
around,
we
there's
just-
just so many things. It's
We love those things, by
Yeah.
the way. I mean, it's
Well,
not like,
it's just kind of incredible as well how well many of them hold up. That's what blows my mind. Is
Oh,
that for them? I
yeah.
mean, some things get scratched, some things get wrecked, but a lot of stuff doesn't. A lot of the paper stuff that you have is just,
That it survives intact is
Yeah.
miraculous.
and again, in many cases, doesn't look aged in any way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, even like this guy that sits here that I think you've shown before, and is heavy as hell. You wouldn't know what year this is. This is the Stork Chesterfield Ashes only for the Stork Club. It's a ashtray.
the Store Club in New York
Yeah.
City, very famous
Yeah,
place,
but I mean,
which is now gone.
this
Which
thing
they-
is
Where the manager or host was a man named Sherman Billingsley.
Yes.
And they had a house photographer who would snap pictures of famous people in the various booths at the Store Club.
Ken's asking if this is Keaton behind. Yes, a friend made this for my dad, where he put one of my dad's movie crazies and has Buster holding it. So it's pretty great. It's pretty great.
It's interesting, all the 100th anniversaries.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
You
we're
know?
swimming in them. We're
Uh,
swimming in 100 anniversaries.
Disney, Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Is it
Harold
Lloyd? Our friend Sue
Centenary.
Lloyd. Yeah.
How much stuff are we going to buy? And
Here's a
where are we
funny-
going to put it?
Here's a funny part about the Warner Brothers anniversary. In 1930 or 31, they did a short subject, a Vitaphone short, celebrating their 25th anniversary then. Now, that was the 25th anniversary of something.
Yeah.
Maybe when they had their first theater
Lunch.
or
First lunch was had.
but then they adjusted everything.
Yeah.
Said, no, we'll do another anniversary instead.
We love the way that in general, they love just playing around with numbers.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the
everybody
100th,
loves,
Kind of.
the 50th anniversary of a film, 40th. I mean, it's a reason to celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure by whom, but
Yeah.
it's a reason. Yeah.
Nick, as always, I agree with you. I wish Disney put more of their library content on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Interesting company. By the way, I just
Interesting
want
company.
you to know, living in California, we're all beginning to experience. We've been so lucky having all the rain that we've had, but apparently the pollen from all the rain that we've had is kicked up, and people like myself and my beautiful daughter, we're like scratching like that because it's hard. It's hard. But thank you for the rain.
Pollen.
Pollen.
Oh man, thank you guys as always for joining us. We really appreciate
If
it.
you are still not aware, we have moved our start time on
Yes.
Sundays to 1 p.m. to accommodate our granddaughter, her daughter's
Yeah.
sleep schedule,
Yeah.
which it remains unpredictable.
The kid
One-
hates sleep. She just hates it. She hates baths and she hates sleep.
1 baby,
Uh,
4 adults.
Yeah.
Just
And
at
all
her
of us just
mercy.
exhausted all the time because she's a tiny menace.
And we are blessed.
Yeah.
We are blessed.
So as soon as Daisy goes off with my dad, my mom and I'll be sitting there. We just hear my dad very calmly going, "No, Daisy, no, don't touch that. No, don't touch that, honey. No, close that. No, honey, don't touch that. Honey, just be careful. Don't do that." But it's so calm. And my mom and I don't help at all because we think it's
we're just
hilarious.
too busy laughing.
We
That's
think it's
why
really,
we're
really
not,
funny.
you
So
know,
we don't
yeah.
do anything about it.
And so it goes.
And so it goes. You're just so patient. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next weekend. Let us know who's going to be at TCM. Very happy to see everybody. I can't believe it's almost here because it is April. How is it April? Yeah, I think, so we'll have this weekend with you and then the following one will be TCM.
Right.
How is that possible?
I know.
I'm going to introduce 4 movies.
Yeah.
And look forward to that.
Yeah. We'll tell you more next week.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for
Be-
asking for me.
So glad I got to see Alice again. I told you they like you.
Yeah. Be
She
kind,
never
everyone.
believes me. She never believes me.
Hmm.
Okay. And